Hi guys, how are you? I hope you're great. This is actually part 2 of my 2-part series on how to hope in hard times. So if you haven't already, check out part 1. It will come in handy. And if you have, let's dive in. So what we've been talking about here are how to hope in the really hard times. So the times when maybe what you see with your eyes doesn't lead you to feel hope naturally. Because sometimes in life, there are seasons that just good things are happening and things are going your way and you're working hard and it's paying off. In those seasons, it's usually not hard to hope. But in other seasons where the pain and the hardship looks bigger than the beauty, it can be hard to hope. Waiting is really hard. The reason that I'm even talking about this is because it's part of my own journey. I've come up against circumstances where I couldn't see how I could change them, and my hope, it sort of dwindled over time. Previously, hope felt like it was something I either had or I didn't have, and I didn't know how to get more of it, which is what led me to really digging into the Bible and saying, what even is hope and how do I get more of it in those really hard times? So that's where I want to dive in today. So we had just left off coming to the realization that what our hope is in is really a measure of how much hope we have. For example, if your hope is in your physical health, if you get a bad doctor's report or you get sick or you get a bad diagnosis, your hope is going to go down, right? Because your hope was in your body. If your hope is in your money, if you think your money is what protects you or keeps you safe and your money goes down or you lose your job, your hope might also go down. However, if your hope is in God, that doesn't have to be the case because God never changes. His promises for you and His plans for you, they don't change. Your feelings, your emotions, your circumstances, they all change, but God doesn't change. So the only way to have hope is to look at Him, to see Him clearly. For me, in the seasons in life when I thought it was about my ability or my plans, I was trying to control things, I was moving along, and then I hit up against the reality that I could not work this situation out, like whatever those circumstances were, that's when I didn't feel much hope. And that's a great warning sign of, okay, what is my hope in right now? Because if it's in me and I realize I can't change this, there's reason not to hope. But if it's in God, there is still reason to hope, which is exactly what I want to chat about today for just a couple of minutes. Because here's the thing, spoiler alert, you can't muster up hope. As much as a fake smile in a picture is really blatantly obvious, you can't force hope. It only happens as a natural byproduct of walking with Him. So it's kind of good news, bad news. The good news is hope is possible. The bad news is you can't will it into your life. However, there are so many things you can do to walk closely with Him to cultivate hope. I kind of think of it like a little kid. You know how little kids are never worried about food? If, for 3 meals a day and snacks or whatever, they just ask their parents. They just go to the cupboard, food is there. They just know dinner will be on the table. It's just guaranteed because they know their parents. They trust their parents have always provided for them, so they don't think about it. They're worried about much more important things. They're not worried about where the food comes from. They sit down at dinner and there it is. And that is what hope is like when we're walking closely with God. And I know that's an overly simplified metaphor, as all metaphors are, but I truly believe that. In my own life, in the seasons where I've struggled to hope, it's because I'm not looking at Him. I'm not thinking about what He's saying. I'm not thinking about His words and His plans for me. I'm thinking about my abilities or someone else's abilities to make something better. And that is just a really lacking way to live. And maybe it works in some seasons, but it really doesn't in the hard times. So today, I want to chat really briefly about how to do that. Because again, I think it's really good news when you realize, I'm not feeling hope in this area. And the reason it's good news is because that's God inviting you into a new dynamic with Him. He is actually sending you messages. This isn't working. This is a mess. So that you can say, this isn't working. Okay, I'm going to come back to you. What are you doing here? And it's really almost that easy. It takes strengthening and effort, but it's really that simple. So 3 easy steps on how to start practicing that today. The first is simply to ask the Holy Spirit, what is any area of my life that's not marked by hope? You might already have a couple things in mind. If not, ask Him. He will highlight it. He's so good at this. The second is to ask yourself, what is the object of your hope in that specific area? So if it's health or work or relationship or the desire to be married, whatever it is, in that specific area, take one at a time and ask yourself, what is my hope in that area? And whatever it is, take some time and talk to him about, pray through it. If it's not him, it's not surprising that your hope is dwindling or it's hard to really remain steadfast in that place because all those other things change. Only he remains the same. And then once you realize what your hope is in, the third simple step is just to ask him, okay, will you help me to hope in you? You can turn right then. Now, it might take lots of little turns throughout the day for a long time. That's okay. What matters is, are you in tune with what he's saying? Are you listening to him? Just invite him. Be annoying. Holy Spirit, anytime I don't listen to you, please alert me. Anytime I'm not hoping, alert me and help me refocus. Oh, I did it again. I was putting my hope in this circumstance or how I thought this problem was going to resolve. I want to stop and I want to put my hope in you instead. Just ask him to help and he will help with that. And that's really what I want to share today. I know that this is a really sensitive topic and I don't know what's going on in your life. And so I hope that this meets you with encouragement and not kind of like platitudes. I hope this meets you in a place of, okay, yeah, I really do want to take a look at what my hope is in instead of just keep moving and hoping things get better and it's really only getting worse. So take a minute, chat with him about it, and just be assured that he loves you, he sees you, he knows you, and he wants to help you in those very circumstances that seem overwhelming today. So, as always, please let me know if this was helpful. Let me know your thoughts. I'd love to be walking with you in this journey. I will respond to your comments. And if you'd be willing, like, share, subscribe, it would really help me out. So I hope you have a great day and take a few minutes to think through those 3 steps before moving on. Okay, bye.